You're watching NBA Now live here on Chat Sports. I am Chase Senior. Give me a follow and hit me up on Instagram and Twitter at Chase_Senior. You see that handle down below. Let's break down this Lakers-Warriors game that was just absolutely marvelous. Look, a lot of people were dreading the NBA play-in tournament. A lot of people were looking forward to it. I'll tell you this, you watch a game like this tonight with the level of intensity and the way this one ended with a clutch LeBron James 3 with a minute left from the Staples Center logo to give Los Angeles a 103-100 win. And how do you come away from this not being impressed, not being excited, and not just trying to catch your breath at this back and forth game between two red-hot teams in the Western Conference with a bunch of star power on the court? It was a game where we were riding the seesaw, going back and forth, and in the end, Lakers win it 103-100 to lock up the 7th seed in the Western Conference standings. We'll get to those standings and the playoff picture moving forward coming up here in just a little bit, but let's continue to break down this game. 103-100 Lakers win. Steph Curry, he was unbelievable. 37 points, 7 rebounds. He went 12 of 23 from the floor. Andrew Wiggins has continued to silence doubters and haters. Big bucket after big bucket in big-time situations. He chimed in with 21 points on 10 of 18 shooting. As for the Lakers, LeBron James and Anthony Davis got off to a slow start. They didn't look 100% healthy. But from the midway point of the third quarter on, LeBron James and AD, working a little two-man game, were able to take over this game and come through in the clutch. LeBron James, we talk about the game-winning bucket, step-back three at the end of the shot clock with a minute left to make it 103-100, which was your final score. He finishes with 22 points, 11 rebounds, and 10 assists, a triple-double for the King. Anthony Davis started the game like 2 of 12, 2 of 13, finished really strong, and other than LeBron, the biggest reason why the Lakers are victorious, 25 points, 12 rebounds, 2 steals, and Alex Caruso. Got to give a shout out to the bald-headed assassin, 14 points on 6 of 12 shooting. Great performances across the board for both the Warriors and the Lakers, which makes me pose this question. It's a difficult one. Who was the MVP of tonight's Warriors versus Lakers play-in game? I'm going to go LeBron James because of the triple-double on that tender ankle. Also late in the game, got poked in the eye, hurt his ankle. I'm going to type LeBron James in the comment section, but let me know down below your MVP of tonight's Warriors versus Lakers play-in game. I'm going with LeBron James because of this stat line right here. And for a man who, look, he's hobbled right now. He's in pain. He said probably from here on out until the end of the season, not going to be 100%. He dug deep down and displayed toughness, displayed will, and showed why he's arguably the second best player in the history of the NBA. A triple-double, 22 points, 11 rebounds, 10 dimes. The shooting percentage, look, not great at 7 of 17, but he's still trying to get his feet underneath him. It was the big three-pointer that won it for the Lakers. That was the big-time shot for LeBron James. Speaking of big-time shots, Steph Curry hit a bunch of them. Steph Curry continued to look like the MVP of the league. And yes, the best player in the NBA. This guy is virtually unstoppable. He was swarmed. He was pestered. All throughout this game with double teams by the Lakers defense, he still was able to drop 37 points, go 12 of 23 from the floor, and 6 of 9 from 3. Chef Curry continuing to cook up hibachi style. Him playing this way is a big reason why I think the Warriors are going to be able to beat the Memphis Grizzlies on Friday night in the matchup that will determine the 8th seed in the Western Conference playoffs. Let me talk about Alex Caruso really quickly. I asked people earlier on our live show, who do you think was the MVP of tonight's game? And Alex Caruso got some votes. Alex Caruso was excellent for the Lakers, and he got it done on both ends of the floor. There were times when he locked up Steph Curry, caused some turnovers, came up with some steals and deflections. On the offensive end of the floor, hit a couple of shots, was really good as the backdoor cut man, but also on some of those cuts was able to find open teammates and really come through with a clutch performance to round out what Anthony Davis and LeBron James did. Alex Caruso, 14 points on 6 of 12 shooting. Also want to touch on Anthony Davis because he was frigid cold to start this game. I think he started the game like 2 of 13. I was doing live play-by-play for this game, so I don't have the numbers in front of me. But either way, for Anthony Davis to finish 10 of 24 after that disastrous start where he was clanking everything, shout out to AD looking like the generational talent that he is. 25 points and 12 rebounds, and the two-man game with him and LeBron James working the pick and roll, the pick and pop, the pick and cuts was, I think, the difference in this game. And Anthony Davis was also really good defensively down the stretch for LA. Andrew Wiggins, he has received a lot of criticism as we continue to look at some of the star-studded performances, which is what made this game so exhilarating. Look, Andrew Wiggins is never going to live up to the hype of being the number 1 draft pick out of Kansas a few years ago. He might be overpaid, but right now the guy is underrated. For Stephen A. Smith to say he'd trade him away for a bag of cookies, that's disrespectful. And since then, Andrew Wiggins has been playing some of the best basketball of his entire career, averaging around 21, 22 points. He was really good tonight, and I think we saw a moment of growth for Andrew Wiggins, who is still a young player for this Warriors team. And they're going to need him if they have any hopes of winning Friday's game against the Grizzlies, which I think they will, but any hopes of making a deep playoff run. We talk about these playoff runs. I think the Warriors, hey, if they get in, maybe they challenge the Jazz. The Lakers, on the other hand, could be the most dangerous 7 seed in the history of the NBA. They've won 6 games in a row now that they're somewhat healthy. So for Laker Nation watching, for all of you watching right now, do you think the Lakers, after watching them eke this one out tonight, do you think they can win the NBA title? Get your votes in the comment section. Type Y for yes or type N for no. Here at Chat Sports, we're bringing you nonstop NBA coverage all playoffs long, all season long, all off season long. It's part of the reason why Chat Sports has been able to grow at the rate we have, to help us continue to grow, as we just surpassed 247,000 subscribers on our main Chat Sports YouTube channel. Continue to support what we do. Subscribe by hitting that big red button down below, or go to youtube.com/chatsportstv and subscribe to our main Chat Sports YouTube channel if you want to continue to see some of the best, if not the best, NBA coverage here on YouTube. Looking ahead to Friday night's game between the Warriors and the Grizzlies, that is going to be the matchup that will determine the 8th seed in the Western Conference playoffs. How did we get to that point? This matchup right here that's on your screen right now. Prior to the Lakers eking out this win against the Golden State Warriors, the Grizzlies were able to hold off the San Antonio Spurs to stay alive in hopes that they can make the playoffs this year. And now it will be the 8th-seeded Warriors against the 9th-seeded Grizzlies on Friday night, with the opportunity to lock up the 8th seed. The loser is eliminated from NBA playoff contention. DeMar DeRozan, he was good for the Spurs in a losing effort. 20 points, not good from the field though, only 5 of 21. Rudy Gay had 20 points too. How about the Memphis Grizzlies though? They were in the NBA play-in last year in the NBA bubble. They didn't make the playoffs. They have another opportunity to do so against the Warriors on Friday night after this win here. Ja Morant coming through, 20 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists in a Grizzlies win 100-96, which sends them to Friday night's game against the Golden State Warriors. We're focusing hard on the Western Conference here, peeps. Let's take a look at this playoff picture. Utah Jazz, they have the number 1 seed in the West. They will take on the winner of that Warriors-Grizzlies game. The Clippers, on the other hand, they tanked to end the season because they wanted to avoid the scary Lakers. They dropped down to the 4 seed. Now they have a scary matchup against the Dallas Mavericks. The Denver Nuggets, they vaulted up and took the place of the Clippers in that 3 spot. That's going to be a good matchup in the 3-6 game between the Nuggets and the Blazers. And now that this game was made official tonight between the Lakers and the Warriors, Lakers moving on to the playoffs. They will take on the 2-seeded Phoenix Suns. What a tough matchup for the Phoenix Suns, who ended the season at 51-21. Now they get the most dangerous 7th seed ever. NBA play-in tournament, it ain't over. And tonight we had 2 really quality games. After last night, the games in the East were just okay. Warriors going to host the Memphis Grizzlies from the Chase Center in San Francisco on Friday night with an opportunity to get into the Western Conference playoffs to take on the Utah Jazz. Two teams playing good basketball right now. Warriors so long were hovering around 500, finished the season at 39-33. Memphis Grizzlies, on the other hand, I like how they, with a young team, finished the season as well. It's going to be a really good game. I think the Warriors are going to be victorious. What do you all watching think? Type MEM if you think the Grizzlies are going to get that 8th spot in the West. Type GSW if you think it's going to be the Warriors getting that 8th seed in the Western Conference to take on the Utah Jazz.